Welcome to Cinemagna. In today's video, we will showcase the red carpet world premiere video of the 2022 American action drama film titled Top Gun Maverick. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos are released. Top Gun Maverick, directed by Joseph Kosinski, is a 2022 American action drama film. Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie wrote the screenplay based on a story by Peter Craig and Justin Marks. The film stars Tom Cruise as test pilot Maverick, as well as Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Glen Powell, Louis Pullman, Ed Harris, and Val Kilmer, and is a sequel to Top Gun. The characters of Cruise and Kilmer are reprised from the first film. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete "Maverick" Mitchell, played by Tom Cruise, is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. When he finds himself training a detachment of Top Gun graduates for a specialized mission the likes of which no living pilot has ever seen, Maverick encounters Lieutenant Bradley Bradshaw, played by Miles Teller. Call sign Rooster, the son of Maverick's late friend and radar intercept officer Lieutenant Nick Bradshaw, aka Goose. Facing an uncertain future and confronting the ghosts of his past, Maverick is drawn into a confrontation with his own deepest fears, culminating in a mission that demands the ultimate sacrifice from those who will be chosen to fly it. Without much further ado, please enjoy the Top Gun Maverick world premiere video.
Now it's my pleasure and my honor to introduce someone who needs no introduction to all of you, Tom Cruise.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Hey y'all. It's great to be back on a carrier, I gotta tell you. Really, it's a true honor. I just can't wait for you to see it. I really cannot wait. It's a tribute to you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do y'all mind getting a photo with me? Thank you. Thank you all for everything you do, you and your families, for our country, for our nation. And it's just an honor to be here. I can't wait, cannot wait for you to see this film tonight. Take care, y'all. Be well. I was finally like, this is now or never. And look, I was always there. Everywhere I traveled around the world, they wanted a sequel. And it was just never right. It's just the story wasn't right, but I'd lay there in bed and I'm constantly thinking about stories, and I was like, okay, what if, how? And I was waiting for technology to be able to catch up to some of the things that I wanted to accomplish, because in the first one I flew in the F-14, we had a camera that had 5 minutes of film and I would turn it on and off. And I waited to see where, and I did American Made, and when I was doing American Made, the aerials, it was always in the back of my mind that if I did Top Gun, what about this? And then McHugh and I did Fallout together, and we were developing those cameras for the helicopters and that aerial sequence. It was all a progression to where we're going. And Kosinski, when I was doing Oblivion with Joe, he's like, I always talked about Top Gun. I said, Joe, let's make Oblivion right now, And then I was shooting Fallout, and McHugh was talking to me about Top Gun for, 10 years. And it just came together. And it just was like, okay, it is now or never. And I felt like the challenge is there, and maybe we can figure this out. My whole life, since I was 4, I wanted to make movies. And I remember being on the set of Taps and thinking, if I can make movies the rest of my life, I'd be so happy. So it's kind of amazing. It's surreal. It's surreal that here we are, and I'm doing this. And it's surreal that it's Top Gun Maverick. 36 years. I'll hold that for you. I got it. I got you. Okay. 36 years later, and here we are. It's surreal. I just nothing else to say. Like, not only training, but just structurally, making the movie coming up, in every way. That's technically challenging. It's emotionally, how do you create a story like this and constantly find the tone throughout? It was challenging on every single level. So to hear the audience's response, and it's really very special.
It's a labor of love. I've never worked as long in a movie before. Between the flying and all the kind of swim training and everything, but just the fact that with all the new cast, we were all kind of doing this thing for the first time together. It was a, immense learning experience, and to do it with TC himself was really just, the best. I certainly never got spun around that much. I mean, to be able to go up in an F-18 and keep your wits about you, and then still understanding everything you had to do to be able to film the scene, and honestly just to not pass out. And I mean, we put so much time in to be able to get to that point, and so the audience really gets to reap the rewards of that, because there's no green screen. We're in the jets for real, and that footage is just top notch. I really loved the character, and I think it's a really beautiful relationship between Rooster and Maverick. And I mean, look, the first time Rooster walks on screen, people are projecting everything that happened to Goose in the first one. So it was some big shoes to fill, and I'm just glad I didn't have to, try and recreate Goose by any means. I just love the character that they wrote for me. Theaters are kind of back. It feels like every day, we're making a step forward. I think it's great, man. We had to give up a lot of pleasures over the last, couple of years because everything going on, and it's really nice to experience joy with a stranger, and to be able to do it in a dark theater, I think that's what you want. I heard so many stories about his work ethic, his generosity, his understanding of film. So I don't know. He really he exceeded all of those things I kind of had already heard about him, but I really wasn't surprised. He's such a phenomenal actor. That's first and foremost. And then he's a movie making machine, and we all reap the benefits of that.
It's really very moving, the journey that Maverick goes on in this film, which may surprise some audiences, I think. I've had a lot of people who have seen it tell me they were crying when they came. They were laughing, they were crying, they were cheering. It's a poignant story. So hopefully fans will enjoy that. I think it's a great time because everyone's ready to get together and have a joyful collective experience in movie theaters, I think. And this is the kind of movie that's perfect for a big screen. It's perfect for a big group of people. It's just, like I said, it's celebratory. It's deeply satisfying. It's a big spectacle of a movie, but it has a lot of heart.
It's a welcome back to the movie theaters, I think. It's a welcome back to the blockbuster. It's a welcome back to the summer movie. It's a welcome back to real life. I think all of those things were such a part of our lives pre-pandemic that all kind of got pushed to the back burner for some time, for obvious reasons. And so I'm very excited for people to come out, enjoy the film with their families, and enjoy it a couple of times. There's a lot to enjoy in this movie. I think part of it is the wait, the long wait between these things. I think the movie doesn't take place the day after the first one ended. It takes place in real time, and part of that is people grow up, and people get sick, and people die, and relationships change, and responsibilities change. And the movie addresses those themes head on. It's about how you make different decisions when you're 25 than you do when you're in your 50s, and how words like duty and service and responsibility and friendship and loyalty, all of those things mean something different. So I think that we've made a movie that touches on a lot of really universal themes. Tom is as advertised. He is very much on brand, and that brand is excellence. And he is a hard worker. He is fiercely proud of what he does, and that attitude is infectious. His enthusiasm for movies is infectious. So it's very easy to be on set with him and working with him. And it's a real treat, and it's a real pleasure, and it's a real honor.
Tom said it, it's now or never. It was a movie that once he realized he had a story that was really going to elevate and take the original and take that and go, off into the universe with it, it became undeniable. And I would say, we all just went through the pandemic. That for me was like we were all in together, we're all in the same boat, and to have this movie come out now, for me, it's like a beautiful present waiting for us at the end of a very long tunnel. And I think fans are going to say, damn, that was worth the wait. And they're going to see it twice, and then they're going to see it again. Tom is no stranger to making good movies. And he understands that a good movie is like a good meal, right? You got to have your appetizer, you got to have your mains. If you're me, you usually avoid the salad, but you got to have some salad. And then, of course, you got to have some dessert. So this movie operates on all levels. It has thrills, it has chills, it has stunts that have only ever happened on this film, but it also hits you in the feels. Tom is also a student. I mean, he's somebody who really is a student of filmmaking, like going way back. And for me, he's almost like Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton had movies where he had to stand in one spot because the entire side of a barn was going to fall, and if he was in the wrong direction 1 inch, that would be the last Buster Keaton movie. Tom is no different. He understands that by making the adrenaline and the action and everything real, it makes it more real for the fans. But also, he's somebody who knows that, fans work really hard and they deserve to have the best we can give.
Tom Cruise is just a guy that everybody around him wants to do their absolute best, and he did not want to go back to this franchise unless he could top it, and I really feel like we topped it. There's this amazing line in the movie where Ed Harris says, "Your time is heading for extinction, Maverick," and Mav looks at him, he said, "Maybe so, sir, but not today." And I really feel like after the last couple years, we thought the movie business could be done for. The communal theatrical experience, like experiencing a big movie together, leaving a theater wanting to high five, wanting to fly, wanting to do stuff you never could do before. And that's why this movie really is special, is we tasted our mortality, we've come out the other side, and we get to celebrate with everybody with this movie. And I think that's what makes it different and special. I mean, there was a lot of competition on this movie. That's the theme of the movie, and that was the theme in front of the camera and behind the camera. But I'll say this group of actors is so exceptional. I'm so honored that I get to call them some of my new best friends, and we put everything we had into this movie. And I think that's what makes this feel really, really great, is that rarely does the way you feel about a movie and what exists on the screen line up. And in this one, everything we put on the bases, living on the bases together, the transition in Sprinter vans and being on the carrier and being in San Diego again, it's so special. It's like, it's a ride of a lifetime for us, but even more so for the audience. Monica's a badass. Truly, I can't say enough nice things about her. She came into this with the weight of having to represent all female aviators, and came out the other side as tough on the screen as she was off the screen. She's truly an exceptional human being, and I think the only one of us who didn't puke her brains out every day of the shoot. Yeah. There was a moment on the shoot where he said, "Hey, Glen," it was in the morning. I was like, kind of going through my lines, and he goes, "Hey, kid, hey, can I talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Oh, shoot." I was like, hope I'm not in trouble with the principal, sort of feeling. And he goes, "I watched a movie last night. There's this movie, Point Blank, and your character, the way you enter the scene, I feel like he kind of stands like you're kind of a cowboy in the scene. I'm going to frame you like this." And I go, Tom Cruise watched a movie last night and thought about my character. That's what makes Tom different, is it's a team sport for him. It's not about Tom. It's about how good of a movie he can make, and it really is. That's what makes him a different movie star. That's why he's been one of the biggest movie stars for 40 years, is he cares about everyone he works with, and he wants everybody else to win.
This is the perfect film to get people out and say, like, no, I want to see this in a movie, because you have to. You can't watch it on your phone. You can't watch it on your TV. You can't watch, it's not, you know, the sound effects, the feels, the ride that you want to go on with a person sitting next to you. It's the perfect time to, you know, encourage people to get back into theaters. When I used to grow up, there wasn't a lot of people like me on the scene, and now I'm glad to be a part of a project where another young kid like myself can sit there and say, like, wow, I want to be like him, you know? Oh, I mean, the competition between each and every one of us is real. I think it helped. We wanted to be better than the next person, but we were also rooting the next person on. I am the best pilot. I'll just go out there and say it. I am. No, but it helped us push. When things get hard, you know you have somebody else that's either going through the same thing you're going through or competing with you, and you want to beat that person as well. We had a great time bonding, and these are my family members. You know, we still talk, and even after this is over, we're going to stay close. You read about greats in the world, like Michael Jordan. You know, you read about these people, and to actually see it happen in real life. I was reading this book called Elite Minds. At the same time, I was working with Tom Cruise. So I'm understanding what an elite mind looks like and how it operates, and then I'm getting a real experience every day I go to set. And that is mind-blowing. And I mean, I'm lucky to call him my friend, my mentor, and have him always in my corner to succeed, you know?
Well, I mean, the state of the world, I mean, and I think the country needs an uplifting, fun film, you know, and that's what this is. I mean, it's not just like an action movie or a blockbuster. It's Americana. It's a callback to, you know, a period of time that was, you know, we celebrated these types of movies, and people, when they see it, are going to lose their minds because it really is that good. Yeah, you can have a million sequences of action and whatnot, but if there's no depth or heart to it, then you walk away feeling a little bit empty. And it's calling back to these old characters and all of these other things that, I mean, it really strikes a chord. So what he's able to manage and how many hats he wears when he's working on a film. I mean, he would roll up to set, hop out, and he's ready to go. And he's got thoughts and notes, and he'll change things on the fly, and it works, and he knows how to pull it off. And so the way that he can balance so many things at once while acting, I mean, like I can't even imagine doing one other thing besides acting alone, but he can do it, and it's just beyond impressive. Really, it's astounding, and it's humbling too, because then you recognize what these pilots have to do. And I mean, we're only doing a fraction of what they actually have to do and learn, and the sacrifice that they give. I mean, staying on these ships and stuff, you realize, like, I mean, these people who serve our country, they give up so much for us, and yeah, so humbling is the word I would use to describe it.
To work on a film like this with Joe Kosinski and Jerry Bruckheimer, all the flying sequences are completely unprecedented. The way it's been shot with the cameras in the cockpit, it's never been done before that way. So I think it'll make for an extremely authentic viewing experience. I just think because of what we're coming out of right now, it's such a feel-good, triumphant blockbuster film. Everyone's gonna feel good at the end of this. Not to give away anything, you know, you never know, but you're gonna maybe you're gonna laugh, maybe you're gonna cry, experience the full spectrum of human emotion. I don't know. It's gonna be a great one. He's the glue. He brings everyone together, but I think what surprises me is just the incessant focus all the time. You know, he's locked in and taught all the actors, you know, where to look at technical stuff. And, you know, this film is an action film, but it's really about the relationships. And he's at the helm of that, you know, even on and off screen. So, seriously, it couldn't have been any better, and I'm just excited to see it now, finally.
We are on a carrier in San Diego. We are floating in the ocean right now. There is a helicopter at the end of this thing that Tom Cruise landed on. There are probably 1,000 people on this thing. This is crazy. I don't know what's happening right now. We're bringing people back to the theaters. Like, this is such the movie to, like, watch in a community and to bring people back into the theaters. And then on top of that, you know, it took a while for technology to get there and for cameras to get there, right? Like, the cameras hadn't been able to catch up with what Tom wanted to do. And now that we're in that space, we get to bring this movie to the world. We get to bring, you know, this amazing story of teamwork and friendship, competition. Like, it's amazing, man. I think one is how gracious he was with his time, his storytelling. He talks about his entire career. He'll tell you a story from every movie, how he made mission 1 to mission 7, whatever it is, right? How he originally made Top Gun to what we're doing today. Like, he just takes the time to tell you stories about everything, and it's so, you just don't expect that from folks at that level. Tom does it every single day and never wavers, and it's absolutely amazing. And then the second thing is he's such a student. He's watching a movie every single day while he's making a movie because he wants to learn what filmmakers all around the world are doing. And again, like, that is something that I'll take with me forever.
Top Gun is the experience you want to have in a theater with a big audience cheering and laughing with you. There's nothing better than going to a movie on opening weekend with the fans and enjoying what we've worked on for 30-some years. That's what it's all about. Movies are about emotion. I always say we're in the transportation business. We transport you from one place to another, and it's the emotion that does it. Well, he's a brilliant actor. Let's start there. The fact that he's handsome helps, but he's just a great actor, great individual, works so hard at what he does, loves what he does, and he just strives for excellence no matter what. That's what he looks for. He wants everything to be just perfect, and he'll keep doing it till he gets it. Well, I'll tell you, it's part of his zeitgeist for Tom to make this movie at this point and release it at this point. So I think he might have planned it, knowing Tom.
This is finally the global premiere for Top Gun Maverick, you know, an end of a 5-year journey for me. We designed this film to be seen on the biggest screen possible with the best sound possible. People are going back to movie theaters, which is the right time to bring this movie out, so I'm just thrilled to finally show it to people on the big screen. I think you're going to get a chance to see just what a phenomenal actor Tom Cruise is, and what an incredible cast we have. You know, I worked really hard to surround him with the absolute best actors I could find: Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Val Kilmer, obviously, is coming back as Iceman. So, you know, the first film was always a drama kind of wrapped in an action movie, and we wanted this film to be the same. Listen, competition is a fundamental part of Top Gun. So, you know, going through the training, they were competing who could pull the most G's, you know, and that's what you want. That builds that kind of friendship that you want, and it shows on screen. I think the first day on set, I was out here at Coronado on the runway with an F-18, a Kawasaki Ninja, waiting for Tom to come to set. He pulled up, called me over to his car. I stepped inside, and there he was as Maverick for the first time. And when I saw that, him as a character, you know, not Tom Cruise, this was Maverick. He said, "You ready for this?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's do it." And we went and started shooting this movie, and that, you know, that's something I'll never forget.
Tom Cruise really knew to hold out on this because he wanted to make sure that the technology was developed so that we could go up in actual jets and that we could fit 6, you know, 8K cameras stripped down in the cockpit of an F-18, so we could give audiences the idea of what it actually feels like to pull these G's. To pull these G's and to do what real Top Gun pilots do. I mean, to attempt to convey that, you know. I think that what's at the heart of Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick is what it means to be a good friend, you know, what it means to be a good wingman. And you know, I was just saying that you know, my grandpa was saying, "What's one thing that you regret?" before he passed. I was like, "What's one thing that you regret?" And he said, "I wish I was a better friend." Him, to me, in my eyes, he was one of the best friends. I watched him be an incredible friend. But that's something that he held on to a lot. And I think that Top Gun really encapsulates that. Is like, you know, the challenge of being a good friend, supporting, uplifting, pushing, and keeping somebody, you know, straight when they may be, you know, wavering. I've never worked with anyone like Tom. He really, when you start to work with him, you realize that he holds everyone to a real high standard because he not only expects it, but he knows that you're capable of that. And when Tom Cruise says you can do this, because, you know, I walked into this and I was like, I don't know if I can really do this. This is a huge challenge. But when Tom Cruise looks at you and he shakes you in the hand and he really is like, "You can do this. I know that you can do this." And he set us up for success. I was capable of things that I never would have dreamed of.
I was 13 when I filmed this, and I'm now 17, so I mean, it feels like it's finally happening. I mean, it got pushed a few times, so to see it now is just incredible. He was a dream to work with, and so kind, and so like always checking in on me, so it was great. I love her. She's so kind. She looks absolutely amazing tonight, so.
It's the Tom Cruise show. That's what it is. It's Top Gun Maverick coming in after 30 years of everybody waiting, which is pretty incredible. I think Tom is the only person who can deliver something like this. And I don't think we've, other than like maybe Mission, like with Fallout, we need something like that. We need movies, we need people to come back to the theater and celebrate movies on screen. And this is the perfect movie to do that. It's something that I don't think, unless you train for it, you'll ever be prepared for. But to have, I guess that's why we love acting, to be able to do these experiences without having to commit years and years of training. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, that's for sure. I mean, they can expect a lot of action, a lot of tears, a lot of I think a lot of nostalgia coming back and hitting them straight in the face, and that's what everybody's waiting for.
Tom Cruise landed in a helicopter. I stood there with the most epic cast of all time. I am just pinching myself. I don't know. I feel like I'm on another planet. We had to wait until we could have communities watching it together. I mean, it's an emotional piece, and you want to be there with your friends and your family, and people who love the movie, who've talked about the movie and quoted it, want to go together and be able to sit next to each other and, eat popcorn, and, it's the classic movie experience, just on an absolutely epic level. Tom said this earlier, it's like the first one was really emotional too, and I think we forget with all the fun we have on the volleyball court, and, we love Goose, but maybe forget how much we cried in that moment. And I think that is at its core very much a part of Top Gun, and it's a part of making a sequel. These things are emotional. It's not just flying planes. I mean, they're risking their lives and to protect their country, and there's camaraderie and love and friendship and romance, and you need all of it.
That kind of became the conversation when I first came onto the movie, was going back to what it was to watch this movie the first time before it was Top Gun, and to look back on the kind of movie it was, and it really informed the movie that we ultimately made. Anybody who feels like they have something special to offer and has no time for authority and being held back, I think can identify with Maverick. I come from a Navy family, so as I explained to the advisors on this film that, I didn't just have the Department of Defense to worry about, I had Thanksgiving dinner to contend with. So I sat them down and said, look, I'm not going to let you down. I know what I'm representing, and it was an honor.
It's a pretty amazing day for everyone. I mean, it's been 36 years since the last Top Gun. It's quite amazing to be here, and for finally an audience to see. We had to hold it off for a couple of years of release, and it's a beautiful day here in San Diego. It's very spectacular, seeing everyone's smiling faces and the excitement that we have for this film. I'm really beyond words, actually. Now we're about to show the film to the Navy. We're going to show the Navy here, and then we have a screening tonight. We're going to go to the Midway on the carrier, and it's going to be a big day. Well, look, it really is representing that culture and aviation and the Navy culture, and it kind of has the same ethics of doing the right thing, about family, about tradition. You look at also these extraordinary aircraft that these men and women fly, and their ability. It's about a high level of skill and competence and care for your fellow man, and those are the things that are very strongly represented, in the drama in these movies.
Pretty exciting. It's also you're nervous because you want everything to go well, but I'm really thrilled that we're here and we can get to share it with all the sailors and the aviators that we work with. Being able to work with Tom Cruise, that's the one. I'm really fortunate. He's such a brilliant actor and producer, and anything he wants to take on, he does it to the max, and you couldn't have a better partner. It was terrific. They were great. They really were great with us and gave us access to a lot of things that in the past we had to struggle to get, but this time their arms were open. So we really appreciate their efforts and the sacrifices they not only make for the country, but made for making this movie.
It's great. It's very exciting to finally be here. It's the end of a 5-year process for me, and to be here on North Island, where we shot the film, is great. It was my first glimpse into the world of naval aviation. So, I saw as a 12-year-old kid, and that was the perfect age to see that movie. Maverick with, the jacket, sunglasses, the ninja flying F-14s. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So to be able to bring Tom back into this world and reprise this character and see him in all the different aircraft that we got to shoot in this film was really a thrill. It took us about 15 months working with the Navy to figure out how to get our cinema cameras into an F-18. The goal was to get 1 or 2. We eventually got 6 IMAX quality cameras into the Super Hornet. So everything you're seeing was captured for real. Our actors trained for months to be able to get in a Super Hornet. They got flown by the best aviators in the world. Real Top Gun pilots flew them, flying with real-world tactics, very closely designed with the Navy. So you're going to get a glimpse into what these men and women do every day, and it's pretty spectacular. There's no way to do this movie without the Navy. That was a requirement. The good thing is Jerry and Tom made the first Top Gun, 36 years ago, and inspired a lot of the decision makers at the Navy to get in the Navy in the first place. So by the time it was time to make this film, it was we didn't have to convince them very hard. They were really excited to work with us and help us tell this story. I'm almost most excited about this. A lot of these people in the audience are ones who worked on the movie, flew for the movie, so I'm very excited for them to see how all their hard work paid off. Just like the first film, it's a story about friendship, and what a wingman means, someone who always has your back. Those themes of camaraderie and teamwork and competition, that's in our film, and I think anyone can relate to that. We had Lady Gaga, write an incredible song for our film, and it's woven into the score by Hans Zimmer. So, that's a tough soundtrack to live up to, but we gave it our best shot.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.